Plaintiff Jason Felix says his partnership went up in smoke. He's suing for $5,000 for an unpaid loan. Defendant Matthew Goble says he doesn't owe a dime because the plaintiff cut him out of million-dollar deals.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. This is case number 215 on the docket.
Okay, and welcome to all of you. Let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Mr. Felix. You are suing your former business partner, Mr. Goble, is it?
Yes, Your Honor.
For $5,000 for a personal loan to help him pay his rent. Why don't you tell me about it, and then I'll get your side of the story.
Me and Mr. Goble, we worked together for the past year. We're in the CBD industry. It's a fairly new industry.
CBD?
CBD, it's the derivative of cannabis.
Oh, okay.
So we broker raw material
Yes.
in the industry.
Yes.
Work through the different supply chains.
Yes.
And, you know, the industry is tough. It's very infant. Not a lot of success has come yet.
Sure.
So when we started, Matt, I probably was 3 months ahead of him. You know, he was struggling. He didn't have much success with closing his deals when we first got going. You know, he fell behind on his bills. During that time, I got to know him. You know, he's a great guy. Met his fiance, been to his home, met his children. He said he needed money.
What did he ask you for?
He asked me for $5,000. I thought, you know what, he was going to have success soon. The industry was taking off, and it's been 6 months, and I haven't gotten paid back yet. So tried to document some of our conversations. I've got text message strings here that have, you know, numerous dates of when we're going to get paid. Nothing happened. He would tell me about a different deal that was coming up next week. Never transpired.
Okay, if I could just take a look at those statements.
Test these off.
And I'm going to give you a chance then.
Thank you.
So the beginning of February, you loaned him the money, and in April, you haven't been paid yet.
Correct.
And you answer, of course, had some hiccups. Been a great morning so far, so it looks like we're back on track. Trust me when I tell you, I'd love to pay you in full by the end of the week. This is going on well into May. You're still saying that you would pay him back now. And you're here because you haven't been paid yet?
Correct.
According to you. Okay. Now, what do you say?
Good morning, Your Honor. So, to be clear, we are dealing in CBD. To be kind of more frank on what that is, you have the marijuana plant, for those who may not know. You have the marijuana and you have the hemp plants. CBD typically comes more from the hemp plant.
Yes.
It's used for medicines, you know, anxiety, or pain relief, some of the same sort of derivatives of marijuana will have as well.
Sure.
Except for you don't have the psychedelic sort of high from it. So we call it medicine, right?
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah, fairly new to the industry. In the beginning, when Mr. Felix and I first started working together, we were initially working on a THC trim deal, licensed THC trim. So that's actually with marijuana. I have an expansive network in the industry. I know a lot of people. So the value that I sort of bring to this relationship was my network. We had a deal that we were working, which I have evidence here to provide for you. And I found out that he actually had closed some of those deals without me. We had a mutual agreement, as a verbal mutual agreement, 50-50, that we would profit share our deals. I found out from multiple sources that there were deals getting done. Actually, some of the text messages that I have here as evidence will show that he was in contact with my buyer. I could see that. Right? And in regard to my text messages back and forth recently, is because really, for me, it was just hoping that I was trying to kind of keep things cordial, not get too crazy with it. And I was just kind of hoping that he would make enough money through my network that I'd introduced him to that, you know, he would sort of maybe just, hey, don't worry about it.
Okay.
But I really, at this point, feel that I don't need to pay him that money.
And you are?
I'm his fiance.
Okay, if you can stand up here. And you are here because?
I'm here to testify on behalf of my fiance as his witness.
Yes.
So basically, Matthew works at home and does his business over the phone. So when I'm home, I listen to these conversations.
Yes.
And the conversations were his high buyers telling and warning him about Jason Felix and how he's a snake, and to watch out because basically he cut Matthew from the deal when they had an agreement that they were going to profit share And we're not talking about small deals. We're talking about lucrative deals that are massive money. So,
multi-million-dollar clients.
yes. So in regards, you know, Felix made way more than what Matthew had borrowed from him.
None of those deals ever transpired. If you really followed our industry, everything sounds great to make a couple $1,000,000 on a certain deal, but they never came to fruition. I'd love to say those deals closed, and you know, I wouldn't be here in court for $5,000 if they did, but they never did, and
Okay.
there's no proof to show it.
On that issue, I'm going to put it aside, and let me explain why. There is no question that, as you admit, that he loaned you $5,000. That $5,000 wasn't paid back. You're coming to court and saying, well, I set him up on, I gave him contacts that could be incredibly profitable, millions of dollars, tens of thousands, whatever. As lucrative as that is, that's a separate issue. And the only way that can substitute for the $5,000 you owe him, even if it's much, much more, is if he agrees to it. Not that that wouldn't be a nice thing to do, but he must agree, and there has to be evidence of his agreeing that that will be the repayment of the $5,000 he loaned you. Unless you have evidence of that, then I have no choice in this case for whatever deal you had on the side. But on the loan, I have no choice short of evidence that he agreed to let that be the substitute. I have fined for the plaintiff in the sum of $5,000.
Thank you.
You both remain at the same.
I feel the verdict was very fair and appropriate for the situation. You know, I give people a second shot. I wouldn't mind working with them.
I'm not excited about it, but it sounds like maybe I have my own case now after this one.
Hey YouTube, check out my new show, Judge Jerry. Now for sneak preview and behind the scenes footage, subscribe to my channel now.